moved to Orlando for school to be an engineer. Decided that wasn't for me, as many people do, and
Yeah.
went into business, which I really loved. And it's funny, like being
Mm.
a creator and having that business background, I feel like it really set me up to think about, creating and helping other people creatively, business wise, so that
Yeah.
they can, do what they want to do for like a living, or,
Hmm.
just change their idea around what they can do
Hmm.
as a hobby into possibly a business.
I think that's such a great move that you did go back to school for business, because that's so like important, especially being an entrepreneur, knowing the business aspect of whatever you're trying to pursue. Because if you don't have that down and you're just solely into your craft, but you don't understand the business aspect, that will shoot you in the foot, and your
Yeah.
business will not prosper.
Yeah, I've learned from like a lot of creatives before me that said that they went, specifically for what they wanted to do, whether
Yeah.
that, be an art degree or something like that. And
Yeah.
they said that they kind of, you know what I mean? It's that passion is being molded by a specific, I don't know how to say it. There's standardized, that
Hmm.
that love for you. So, it's going to push
Yeah.
you in a different direction, but it's also not going to teach you how to market yourself,
Hmm.
or, how to find your audience with your art. It's just going to teach you how to make it. So
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of people that said, just kind of get the business side of things rather than,
Hmm.
go down the art path, which
Yeah.
luckily I can still do both. So
Hmm.
that's what I really liked about it.
But I wanted to touch on, I know, having met you and gotten to know you a little bit, that you told me that you suffer from depression. Do you mind sharing with me and also our listeners, when was your actual diagnosis for depression?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed about 2 years ago. I was in college and I just felt like, well, I was having like one of the worst days of my life, and I just felt like my
Hmm.
life was kind of spiraling down, and it was very hard to pick myself up.
Hmm.
And I had been in college when I was in high school too. There's been an immense pressure my whole life to achieve well academically.
Yeah.
And I had been doing really well, like even I got my AA when I finished high school. And then when I went to UCF, I was already in my like bachelor's, and that was just, I think, too much all at once, especially in engineering. Like I went from
Yeah.
community college, you know, like my last class there was Calc 3, and then going straight to university doing differential equations and
Mm.
another math class on top of it.
Oh my
And just like
gosh.
all this pressure just kind of swirled, and I just found myself, really not knowing what I was supposed to do, because I had spent so much time, thinking I was going to be an engineer, thinking I was going to go down this path, and then I was sitting
Yeah.
here at a crossroads and really just not loving it. Really just
Mm.
like finding myself in a weird place, because I was creating also at the time, and I was
Yeah.
doing different modeling projects, and I was really loving that, but I wasn't loving what I was in school for, what I was paying for. So
Right.
it it really just sat me down, and I had to think about where I wanted to go, what I was going to do with my
Mhm.
life, and
Mhm.
talking to my parents about like what my next steps were too. I was scared about that too, because
Yeah.
for them as well, they knew what I thought I knew my path was. So
Mhm.
changing their perception of that was
Yeah.
really hard. So I went to therapy, which was awesome,
Mhm.
and worked on myself a lot, and
Yeah.
figured out, kind of like where I was like not giving myself credit, and just kind of,
Mhm.
giving myself better coping mechanisms with the thoughts and the feelings that I was having,
Mhm.
to try my best. Because it's not, you know what I mean? Just because you go to therapy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a while ago doesn't mean that you're like good for life, or,
Oh, of course
some,
not.
some people can be, but I'm definitely not one of them. And
Yeah.
sometimes you have to relearn things that you've learned that
Mhm.
were positive about yourself all over again, because,
Oh yeah.
sometimes history repeats itself. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was about 2 years ago.
Would you say a lot of people, creative people, suffer from depression?
I do know a lot of creative people with depression. I don't know if I could
Yeah.
say like the whole world, but in my circle, I do know a lot of people that are creative and have depression. And I see it
Mhm.
the most when it comes to making it as a business for a lot
Yeah.
of people, because it comes down to kind of like how you view your art. You know what I mean? If you love
Yeah.
your art at the end of the day, and no one else's opinion of that is going to change it, then you're pretty much
Mhm.
good. You can create, you can distribute your art and be happy. But not a lot of people, work like that a lot of the times. And
Yeah.
sometimes outside influence of engagement or sales, can really get somebody down or push them up, right? Depending on where they want to be at.
Yeah.
And so when I do see when the telltale sign, I think, for a lot of creatives is like deleting their social media or just like going offline or just like kind of isolating themselves.
Yeah.
And it's just like, obviously you don't want to see your homies or your favorite creatives like, in that state, but during those times you just try to like lift them up and not try to ask them too much about like what's going on. Sometimes it could be super personal or bring it up, you know what I mean? So but I definitely see it, and we all just try to like lift each other up when that's happening and just try to be there or provide support when they're going through that time. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about body image. I know that in the modeling industry, there's a certain like look or physique that is often preferred, and a lot of people are prejudiced towards models that don't fit that category, don't look the way they exactly want. How do you overcome those flawed outlooks in terms of body image?
I don't want to put myself in like an industry settings because it's a little bit daunting for me, but what I've found in my close community is that a lot of people have been super accepting of a lot of different bodies, especially in Orlando, especially like what I've seen from St. Pete, you know what I mean? A lot of the creatives coming from a small sense are starting this wave of, being better about accepting people for their flaws or, what perceived flaws people have, right? And for me, what got me started into it was actually, I mean, this really has nothing to do with like where I am today, but I actually started as a baby model, funny enough. For JC Penney's. Yeah, I was on one coupon. That was my first modeling gig ever.
So you were an infant, like a little baby.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Little babby.
I gotta see that picture.
Yeah, I'll have to tell my mom to get it out again. She has like a whole binder full of like baby pictures and then that one little ad.
So you've been modeling for that long?
No, that's why I say it has like nothing to do with it, because that was like my first gig ever, and then flash forward to college when I actually like about it. But
so you had that one and then took a break and then on it again.
I took a hiatus from
okay.
But so because I feel like if I'm like, I started modeling then, it's not true. But yes, I really started modeling my adult body when I was in college. And nobody really told me I could do it. Nobody was like, hey, you should be a model. And I've had many friends, stand next to me as we're walking through downtown Orlando, get like cards handed to them by like model people. That never happens to me. But it didn't like sometimes like I'm somebody that goes against the grain in general anyways. So somebody either saying I can't do it or me not seeing it available is gonna make me want to do it more or so for me it was just like I feel like I can do it. I love my closet. I have so many outfits. Like I think I have a pretty good sense of self to be able to like model and definitely like with my curves it was hard at first because you're trying not to sit in types of ways that would make you feel like give you that body dysmorphia that you shouldn't feel like when you're trying to feel your best or pretty or just I don't know, feeling elated in general when you're in that space. Because when you're being photographed, right, that's that one moment, to kill it and to give your all and to like, feel the most confident. So whenever I'm in that space, I just try to embody that. And I just try to be a good role model for other people to know that like, you don't have to look any type of way to be a model. You know what I mean? First of all, there's different industries that need different people. Clothes in general, like clothes are selling to people of all body types. Like why is there not models for all of these different body types? You know what I mean? So there's definitely a growing market for it. It's just like slow growing. But I think everybody should be empowered and know that we're all different. Our bodies are all different. There's trying to be healthy, and then there's trying to look a type of way. And I think being healthier is a good way to look at trying to change for the better. But like trying to make your body a specific type, I think can be uplifting for some and also like a bad path to go down for others because like we see a lot of plastic surgery these days. Like a lot of people are just not happy with their appearance
Yeah.
And when they do change it, a lot of them are happier, but not for a very long time.
Yeah.
They'll switch to changing something else, or something else will come up and they'll, feel better at that time and be like, yes, I look better now. But I've just watched a lot of things about such plastic surgery and social media, and
Yeah.
how it's such a weird relationship that people have with it, because it is helping them and it is hurting them in a sense, because
At the same
surgery on
time.
your body is very taxing and can cause,
Yeah.
a lot of downtime and, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of pain and stuff. So
Yeah.
trying to keep up with this ever changing body standard, and like, you know what I mean? People that were like getting boob jobs are now getting BBLs, right? It's this constant shift, and
I
it's
didn't even
hard to
know it
keep
had
up
an
with.
acronym.
Yeah, BBLs, Brazilian butt lift. Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
oh,
just,
okay, okay.
yeah, and it's just hard to like, it's
Wow.
hard to keep up because everything's always changing. There's going to be some influencer that comes out with something, that
Yeah.
everybody else wants to have. Now, fox eyes were a thing that people didn't realize were racist at all. They were
Wow.
like, yeah. So it's just different things. People will see different things. They want to be them. They want to embody it. And when it comes to body image, it's hard.